Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hey, y'all. Whew. When I say this back and forth between Jay-Z, Tony Busby, and everything, y'all, it's going down. It is going down. Um, hey, Gold Digger. Hey, Cece. Yes, y'all, it is going down. Neither side is backing down. There were some new filings that I was able to get my hands on. And as I stated before, if you guys have watched, hey, what is it? Second, a Secunda, so cute. I hope that's what it. I hope I said your name correctly. But hey, so if y'all been following this saga, y'all already know in regards to what we're talking about here. So, who child? So, oh, wait, question. So, if hey, worldwide collaboration. So, if they made an agreement, doesn't that mean that Jay-Z broke an agreement now? She could sue again. Okay. So that is one of the questions that a lot of people are asking. And no, once you have filed a dismissal with prejudice, that's you can't ever file again. So she can't come back and say, I need to refile. Now, if she wants to file another lawsuit, for harassment or something like that, she can, but she can't go back and file the same lawsuit against Diddy and Jay-Z. It doesn't work like that. What's up, Hibiscus? What it up? Hey, artists, how you doing? Hi, y'all. Hi. All right, we got a lot to cover today. We have a lot to cover. So last we spoke, oh my God, I can't even remember. So last night we got a lot of information that came out as far as, Jay-Z. Well, not, let me take that back. The attorneys. So Mark Kasowitz was the attorney for Jane Doe and Tony Busby and the Busby Law Firm in a New York action. And the reason why Tony Busby needed an attorney is because Alex Spiro filed a motion for sanctions against him. So he does need representation for that. In the midst of all of that, on February 1st, Mark Kasowitz really spoke. They had a conversation with Alex Spiro and they all came to an agreement. It just wasn't Alex, it just wasn't Mark. It was, Mark, Jane Doe, Busby, Alex, and Jay-Z, and possibly Diddy, right? They all said okay. But it was mainly, the Jane Doe and Jay-Z. There we go. It was mainly them. And they felt that it was too much going on. They all came to a global mutual agreement to dismiss the case. But there were stipulations to that. One, Alex Spiro had to drop the motion for sanctions. If he did that, 10 days later, then Jane Doe would dismiss her case with prejudice. And then, once that has been done, Spiro agreed to not harass, and that goes for Spiro and Quinny Manuel and any associates of Quinny Manuel, agreed not to harass, not to employ anybody to harass or further investigate Jane Doe. Well, not specifically Jane Doe, but Tony Busby, his current clients, former clients, current employees, former employees, and family members. So, under current or former clients, I should say, that's the category that Jane Doe would be under. So, therefore, that means don't go after them, don't confine them, none of that. And yet he still did it, right? So that's one part. The second thing I want to tell you guys is that in four affidavits, an affidavit that was submitted on November 8th, 2024, no, November 18th, 2024, a affidavit that was submitted December 8th, 2024. And then these two additional declarations that were submitted in the California case all state what Jane Doe, what happened to her. Her story never changed. We are going to tap in to the interview. They actually did a transcript, just like I said. If you have a recording, it should have went to US Legal or somebody to transcribe it. But me personally, if I was working on this case, I would also need to see the video. I would need to see some type of confirmation to go with that transcript, because I'm going to read the transcript to y'all. Some things just don't make sense. But in the declaration that Charlotte says she was calm, she didn't appear frightened or scared or anything. But if we look at the transcript, the language that Charlotte was saying, it was like, okay, well, she did appear scared. So it's a lot of contradiction. And I don't know how that supplemental declaration by Charlotte Henderson is going to help. But anywho's, it doesn't deter the fact that they were not supposed to be there in the first place. Period. And people going to say, well, that's the reason as to why they said that they didn't work for da 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 da. But I explained to you guys yesterday, no random PI could just come to me and say, hey, I got a declaration, submit it with your pleading. And y'all could talk to any other paralegal or attorney or somebody who works for an attorney's office, and they will tell you the same. If you were not hired, or you're not a party on the case, or no party or counsel on the case hired you, why am I taking the declaration for somebody on the outside of this case? I'm just saying. Right. I wonder why she let Diddy off. Well, here's the thing. The whole case, she did not want to be her. She just wanted to get away from everybody. She just wanted to go back to a normal life. If I was in that predicament and I was getting harassed and stalked and all that stuff, I wouldn't want to deal, because Diddy crazy and obviously Jay-Z is crazy as well. You would love to go to lunch. Artist, are you in Dallas? If you're in Dallas, child, we sure could go to lunch. I love good lunch. Sexy Nessa, what up? What up? What up? Okay, so the first thing that I am going to read is the actual what was it? The intake form. The intake form. Now, once again, a lot of people don't realize how law firms get the actual intake. People just think that we will hold on. I hate when everything is ugly. I want my stuff a certain way. Let me customize this, child. We're gonna put this on this side. We're gonna do that. And we're gonna do that. Let's see. Oh, it said I could change this. Yeah, I know I'm on live, but it's so funny. Okay, this is how we're gonna do. So people be like, how do y'all get clients? And this is, I don't even know what century we're in. Don't charge it to my head, y'all. But we are in 2025. Everything is done electronic. Whenever, even for my businesses, how I advertise on social media. Nobody goes out and hand out flyers anymore, or people do billboards and stuff like that, or send things in the mail, but people are always on social media. So even with the attorneys that I contract with, they advertise on social media. So whenever we get a lead, the attorneys actually hire lead services that will put out ads on social media, the radio, television, wherever people may look or hear, that's what they put out on social media. So when somebody clicks on that ad, they fill out a form. That form will go back to the lead and they will disperse it. So for us, we use shit. Hold on, let me clear that up. So when I do an intake, this is our intake form. Everybody intakes form is different. So when I print this out, it looks kind of like what the Ava Law Group's intake form looks like. Even when we get referrals, they send over the intake form. So this is nothing new. But the job is when I get an intake, even though they may have spoken with another firm, I still call them and I gather all the information. I read over the intake to see what information, but I like to ensure, like, okay, is this correct, that correct, da 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 da. Okay. But one thing we do is we track how we got this lead. And I don't know if y'all can see this, but we have like attorney referral, Instagram, Facebook, the internet, Law Pro Nation. That's what the attorney actually uses. Previous client, TikTok. We advertise everywhere. This says for legal leads. So this is how we get leads. So I want everybody to understand the process. So when a lead comes in, Cassandra calls and I will do the intake. And depending on what type of case this is, it shows us all the types: asbestos, assault, bad faith, auto accident, bankruptcy, birth injury, breach of contract, civil rights, and I'm just discrimination, dog bite cases, electric scooter cases, landlord tenant, limit law, mail mal, mass torts. What else? We got pharmaceutical, slip and fall, sexual assault. Okay. And what it will do is it will ask questions based off of this. Okay. So the client, if they do a lead, they click on it, they fill out a form. Then somebody on my end will call them after reviewing the form, get additional information, and we'll see if we take their case or not. So that's how this works. Now, for an actual assault case, I see so many comments today talking about, well, she named Jay-Z first and da da. It doesn't matter who name is first, whoever. Y'all, it does not matter who name is the fact that she named the people who were the abusers. And yes, she put Celebrity B's name on there, but that means y'all have to realize, I don't know if anybody has ever been in, had an injury or they had to fill out an intake form. You're just filling it out. And hell, half the time, some people don't even fill it out correctly. That's why I come in, or any other person who does intake, and they call them and they clarify the information. So, with that being said, let me go to and shout out to the Diddy docket. Because, baby, when I say I looked all over the earth for this affidavit, and I could not find it. I don't know where it was submitted at. I done went through all the declarations and I did not see the declaration of Mr. Andrew Arsdale. But this is it. I don't know if y'all can see it, but paragraph 5 of this affidavit says that the Ava Law Group was retained by Jane Doe in early October to pursue claims against Sean Combs and Sean Carter, both of whom specifically identified as her litigation targets on AVA Law's intake form. A true and correct copy of Jane Doe's intake form with AVA Law Group, redacted to show only the abusers she named, is attached hereto as Exhibit A. So if we go to, this is it. Oops, this is it. This is what it looks like. So once I print off the intake form, this is what it looks like. We have to redact all this information because this is personal information. But she clearly names her abusers. Yes, she put Jay-Z and then whoever that person is and Sean Combs. Okay. Y'all can't fault her. They be like, well, she didn't use their real names like she used Sean Combs. Look, who are your abusers? Whatever she says, that is what she puts on the form. Period. Don't make a big deal out of this. Oh, she put Jay-Z's. Why she put Jay-Z's name first or not Sean Combs? Because it doesn't matter. She named who her abusers were. People make a big deal out of something that it really is not supposed. I really don't get it. Gold Digger says they made all their deals. Wonder why all the shenanigans. Investigators that don't work for Jay Z but submit declarations, so they came to the table with ulterior motives and exactly. What up, Beyonce's lace fronts? I love every time I see your name, I crack up. I'm not Buttercup no more, by the way. Okay, Beyonce lace fronts. Oh, you were in Florida? Whenever I come to Florida, I would definitely reach out to you. Oh my gosh. Buttercup be crack. Okay. Beyonce's lace fronts be cracking me up. Even y'all getting rid of excuses paper. Uh let me see. Let me tell y'all something. We don't like right now in the day and age, we try to make it how we say it, paper friendly. So don't nobody do paper no more. Don't nobody do paper no more. All right. So I wanted to show y'all this. Okay. So here is the affidavit of Andrew Van Arsdale of the AVA Law Group. Here is the intake form for Jane Doe when she clicked on the ad. All right. So I hope everybody understands the intake process. That is how that works. Now let's get into these documents because child. Oh, let me pull it up first because it won't show on my screen. Hold on, let me close out my case pure right quick. I gotta do work too. I've been lazy all day and I got discovery I gotta do, y'all. So y'all pray for me. It's gonna be a long night. All right, so let's tap into these declarations. So we have a supplemental declaration from Charlotte that includes the transcript of the conversation between her and James Butler and Jane Doe. I want y'all to pay attention to what Jane Doe says, and I want y'all to pay attention to the questions that Charlotte and James were pretty much asking. Another thing, as I stated beginning, I wish that there was some type of body cam or a ring door camera or whatever the case may be that we can, be able to look at to kind of go with it. Because based off of there were timestamps, I think they were there for about 20 minutes. They were there a good 20 minutes. Hold on, let me stop this because it popped off on this side. So let me go back to this. There we go. All right, so going on to the Declaration of Charlotte. So this is her second declaration. So we have the Declaration of Charlotte. We also have another declaration from Ian Pillinger. He is the one who pretty much found all her criminal and mental information. And then we have the declaration of y'all boy Alex Spiro. I wonder if he's going to mention about this agreement that he made to get this case dismissed, but that's neither here nor there. So let's go into this. Blah 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 blah. All right, so she's been doing this for about 40 years. Well, she's been in legal profession for 40 years, including as a paralegal. She's been a private investigator for 20 years. And she says that she has interviewed witnesses for a wide range of cases, including criminal cases, tax fraud, and automobile accidents. And she has testified in court before. But one thing I do want to understand is why did you pursue Jane Doe? That's the only question that I have. Why did you feel? Now, you are a paralegal, ma'am. And I'm pretty sure that you know the same thing that we know that's going on. Now, you may not have known that they all came to an agreement to dismiss the case, well, dismiss the motion for sanctions, dismiss the case, and Alex and Quinny Manuel agreed to never ever harass these people again. So I get that she doesn't know that, but why did you take it upon yourself a week after the case was dismissed? And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Even though they spoke with her on February 21st, that means they have been investigating her for a while. That's what PIs do. Oh, you crap. Hold up. I'm glad I said that because this man was supposed to serve these people. Oh my gosh, did he even call? Bro, I'm so glad I just thought about that. Because we're trying to get some people serving. We got to serve this corporation, and he ain't never called me back. Oh, Jesus. I really got to hurry up and do this. God dang it. Um, that just threw me off. But anywho's, PIs stalk you. I had one case where we had to find somebody, and this dude was all the way in Kansas, and my PI was working on this for about a good month before he knew where he was, but he had to track his whereabouts. So, with that being said, this investigator, probably even before Jane Doe even dismissed her case, was stalking her, was peeping her out. I just want to throw that out there. Anywho's, Charlotte says she have interviewed hundreds of witnesses. Attorneys who have engaged me have filed dozens of my declarations in court proceedings that convey what the person I interviewed told me. Never has a court found that I acted improperly, applied pressure, coerced a witness, or anything of that kind. Never has a court refused to admit or stricken a declaration from me attesting to what I heard to a witness say. I have never been disciplined or had my license suspended. Now, this here, attorneys who have engaged me, but in your other declaration, your very first declaration, you stated that Jay Z nor any of the attorneys sought you out or hired you. Let's make that make sense. She goes on to say, when interviewing Jane Doe on February 21st, 2025, I conducted the interview consistent with the high standards for which I was trained as a licensed investigator and that I have observed throughout my career. The interview of Miss Doe was lawfully recorded, given that Alabama is a one party consent state, and transcribed. A true and correct copy of the transcript of the interview is attached hereto as Exhibit A, redacted where Miss Doe's true name appears. I have reviewed the transcript and the recording and confirmed the transcript accurately reflects the recorded interview and that the recording accurately reflects the conversation that I and James Robert Butler, another investigator who was present with me, had with Miss Doe on February 21st, 2025. One thing I do want to add, they will send it to you for review, and if any changes need to be made, you have to write it down and you send it back to them and they make the changes. So I want to throw that out there. So even though, because y'all see, she said that she reviewed the transcript and the recording and confirmed the transcript accurately reflects the recorded interview. So be mindful of that as well. Because she could have said, well, no, she didn't say this, she said this. But anywho's, I was provided with the reviewed I was provided with and reviewed the second declaration of Jane Doe in response to Sean Carter's pro offer of new evidence at hearing on defendant's special motion to strike portions of plaintiff's first amended complaint. Signed March 6, 2025 and filed March 11, 2025. I was surprised to read that Ms. Doe characterized my declaration as almost entirely false, especially considering my declaration detailed the exact statements Ms. Doe made when I spoke with her, and that her statements are memorialized in the recorded interview and transcript. And y'all, this is crazy. All of this is irrelevant for the simple fact nobody hired you. I want y'all to, I want y'all, to, I want y'all to understand this. Nobody hired. Nobody hired you. I want y'all to understand this. Nobody hired. Nobody hired you. I want y'all to understand this. Nobody hired. Nobody hired you. I want y'all to understand this. Nobody hired you. I want y'all to understand this. Nobody hired you. I want y'all to understand this. Nobody hired Charlotte Henderson, or James Butler. It'll be different if they hired her, but there's like levels to this. Y'all made an agreement on February 1st to dismiss this action. So anything that took place after February 14th is irrelevant. For the simple fact, Alex Spiro, Quinn Emanuel made an agreement with Mark Kasowitz. Number two, you weren't hired. But even if the case was still going, you weren't hired. And you said that in your declaration. I'm sure the judge is going to ask the same thing. Well, if Jay-Z and his attorneys did not hire you, who hired you and why did you feel that it was okay for you to submit a declaration on Jay-Z's behalf? Why you didn't submit a declaration on Busby's behalf? This is crazy. Ooh, I gotta get into that. Ariel Mitchell, man, Ariel Mitchell, I don't know about her, but child, I gotta get into that. Hey Teddy, Miss Teddy Bradley, what's up? Yes, somebody had to hire them, but the simple fact is there was agreement already in place for nobody to. They said Quinn Emanuel and Alex Spiro cannot employ anybody to investigate or further investigate Tony Busby and any of his clients. Jane Doe was a former client. That's number one. But number two, you have somebody who was not hired by Jay-Z or Quinn Emanuel. So why is this declaration even being now? You can submit anything to the court. On March 26th, the judge is going to, and I'm sure they're going to be like, well, who hired you and why did y'all feel that it was okay to use this declaration? Her little hearsay statement. Okay. All right, let's tap back into this. In the following paragraphs, I identified her disputes with my declaration and necessarily with what she said during our in person conversation. I clear the record about what she said to me and Mr. Butler. In paragraph 8 of Ms. Doe's declaration, she claims that she told both me and Mr. Butler that we have to leave as soon as she figured out who we were. In claiming that she told us to leave, Ms. Doe is lying. As the transcript of our conversation confirms, not once in the entire 15-page transcript does she tell us to leave or to use any words of that effect. Rather, as the transcript reflects, Ms. Doe spoke openly and willingly with us and freely answered our questions. She was free to leave, go back inside her home at any point and end the conversation. She chose not to. In paragraph 9C of Ms. Doe's declaration, she claims that she never told me anything about the facts in paragraph 9C of my declaration, which states Ms. Doe met Mr. Busby for the first time in Houston, Texas. He paid he paid to fly her there. Their meeting to discuss the case took place when Ms. Doe flew out for an interview that Mr. Busby had arranged for Ms. Doe to give to NBC News in Mr. Busby's office. In denying that she said that to me, Miss Doe is lying. Oh, Lord Jesus. As the transcript of our conversation confirms, Miss Doe told me he flew me out to Houston. He paid for it the first time I met him, was in a coffee shop in Houston. We talked about what all was enough to go through and what all had happened. Miss Doe said to me that Tony, which I understood in this context to refer to Anthony Busby, set up the interview with NBC that took that it took place in Tony Busby's office in Houston, and that it was the same time he flew me out as when they met in the coffee shop. In paragraph 9D of Ms. Doe's declaration, she disputes that she told me that Mr. Carter did not actually assault her. Ms. Doe is lying. She told me that several times. As the transcript of our conversation confirms, Ms. Doe made the following statements to me about Mr. Carter during our conversation. I want to hear it. I want to hear the full thing. A transcript is good, but the difference between me presenting this to y'all, like on this side, the thing is, we get to hear it. That's just like us doing a deposition and we had a court reporter transcribe the whole deposition and we could go back and read word for word instead of, listening to the video. But I want to hear the whole interview in its entirety. And I hope they submit that audio to the court for the judge to hear it himself. All right, so let's see what this says. So Miss Charlotte says, but Jay-Z had nothing to do with this, correct? Miss Doe said, right. These are one word answers. Charlotte Henderson said, other than he was at the party that you were at, so I mean, did he not assault you? She said, no. Charlotte Henderson then said, he was there, but he didn't have anything to do with any actual acts towards you. It was strictly, and she said, yeah. Charlotte Henderson then says, yeah, and we're not dismissing the fact that something happened to you. That has nothing to do with, but we just want to clarify that Jay-Z did not have anything to do with it and that he didn't actually assault you. Then James Butler comes in and says, is that a fair assessment? And Miss Doe says, yeah. Y'all know all of this is irrelevant because they wasn't even supposed to approach her. But let's carry on. In paragraph 9E of Ms. Doe's declaration, she claims that she never made any such statements to me about the facts in paragraph 9E of my declaration, which states Jane Doe stated to me that she originally told Mr. Busby that she had been raped by Sean Combs, and a world renowned female celebrity was also present for the assault, and that Mr. Busby suggested that she claimed that Mr. Carter was another rapist. In denying that she said that to me, Miss Doe is lying. As the transcript of our conversation confirms, Miss Doe told me it was more Diddy, but Busby brought Jay-Z into it. He asked if Jay-Z was there. I said yes, because it started out, it was just Diddy and the female celebrity, and then Jay-Z came in. Mr. Butler then asked her, but not from your mouth. And Miss Doe responded, yeah. In paragraph 9F of Ms. Doe's declaration, she claims that she never made any such statements to me about the facts of paragraph 9F of my declaration, which states Jane Doe stated, Busby brought Jay-Z into it, and he was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him, with Jay-Z. Child, 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 child. In denying that she said that to me, Miss Doe is lying. Boy, she loved calling this lady a liar. As a transcript of our conversations confirmed, Miss Doe told me it was more Diddy, but Busby brought Jay-Z into it. It was more Diddy? It was more Diddy. So if y'all think about less than and more than, that means it's they're still there. You still have a Jay-Z and you still have a Diddy. But for you to say it was more Diddy, so Diddy did more stuff, Diddy did way more stuff than Jay-Z did. Think about that, y'all. Ms. Doe then made the following statements to me about Mr. Busby during our conversation. He was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him with Jay-Z. Charlotte says, with Jay-Z, Busby did? Ms. Doe said, yeah. In paragraph 9G of Ms. Doe's declaration, she claims that she never made any such statements to me about the facts in paragraph 9G of my declaration, which states, Jane Doe said that Mr. Busby asked her if Mr. Carter had been at the party. Miss Doe told Mr. Busby that Mr. Carter was at the party, but she told me that Mr. Carter did not take part in any actual assault of Miss Doe. In denying that she said to me, Miss Doe is lying. As a transcript of our conversation confirms, Miss Doe made the following statements during our conversation. Miss Doe says, it was more Diddy, but Busby brought Jay-Z into it. James Butler said, see, now if you don't mind, can you explain that? Because that's kind of, and then Miss Doe says, he asked if Jay-Z was there. I said yes. Butler says, so when you originally sat down at the coffee shop, you told him that Diddy did something to you? Ms. Doe responded, yes, because it started out, it was just Diddy and the female celebrity. Then Jay-Z came in. James Butler then says, but not from your mouth? And she said, yeah. Butler says, so he asked you about Jay-Z? Ms. Doe responds, yeah. And then Butler says, but Jay-Z, was you're saying he was definitely there? I mean, was what? But Jay-Z was you are saying, see, that's why transcripts, that don't even make sense. But Jay-Z was you're saying it's weird. But he had no part in it, or he was just Ms. Doe said he was there. 'Cause- So why did Spiro say he wasn't there? Now they're saying that he is there. But anywho's, Charlotte says he was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any actual acts towards you. It was strictly, and she says, yeah. In paragraph 9H of Ms. Doe's declaration, she claims that she never made any such statements to me about the facts in my declaration. Paragraph 9H, which states that Jane Doe confirmed the following regarding Mr. Carter during our interview. Jay-Z had nothing to do with this, correct? She said, right. Other than he was at the party that you were at. So, I mean, he did not assault you. She said, no. He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any actual acts towards you? Yeah. See, these are yes or no questions. I like open-ended questions. I need you to explain. When I do these intakes, or if I'm interviewing, even in a deposition, it is not, they do open-ended question. I want you to tell me exactly what happened. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. We don't know the type of state that Jane Doe was in when they approached, but when I get to reading the actual transcript, you guys can get a general idea of how she felt. In denying that she said these statements to me, Ms. Doe is lying. As the transcript of our conversation confirms, Ms. Doe made each of these three statements verbatim. She reiterated that Mr. Carter did not assault her again at the end of our conversation as follows. Henderson, yeah, and we're not dismissing the fact that something happened to you, that nothing was done to you. Wait, that nothing to do with, wait, let me reread that. Yeah, we're not dismissing the fact that something happened to you. That has nothing to do with, but we just want to clarify that Jay-Z did not have anything to do with it and that he didn't actually assault you. James Butler says, is that a fair assessment? Ms. Doe says yes. In paragraph 9I of Ms. Doe's declaration, she claims that she never made any such statements to me about the facts in paragraph 9I of my declaration, which states that Jane Doe said to me that lawyers at Mr. Busby's law firm told her that if she pursued Mr. Carter, she would get a payout. In denying that she said that to me, Ms. Doe is lying. As the transcript of our conversation confirms, Ms. Doe made the following statements during our conversation. Butler says or asked, did they ever promise you money? Or they just said, we'll see what happens? Or Miss Doe said, well, they said that I would get a payout, but I already knew that wasn't 100% accurate. Oh, can we just get to this darn thing? Uh, so pretty much they're just going back. This declaration of Charlotte Henderson is just pretty much saying that everything that Jane Doe said in her declaration was a lie. We're gonna get to this. We're gonna get to all of this. That's all this is saying, is that she's a lie. But we're gonna get to the transcript so y'all can actually see. So this was this interview of blank blank on February 21st, 2025. I need timestamps. Okay, before we get to reading that, y'all, let's get into, definitely get those likes up if they're not liking. If they are not liking. Yeah, somebody did hire them. They're going to blame it on Beyonce. I'm dying. Not Beyonce. Boom. Who hired you? What the circus investigators just inserted themselves. That's what I'm saying. Y'all, that's why I keep saying take the celebrities out of it. Take Jane Doe and just think of regular people. I'm telling y'all the process. And somebody said in my comments earlier talking about, well, what you said that you work on the plaintiff side, da 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 da. When I come on here, I tell you guys the process. It doesn't matter if we're doing plaintiff's work or we're doing defense work. The litigation process does not change no matter what side of the fence you're on. The civil rules of civil procedure, whether state or federal, does not change. Does not matter if you are on the plaintiff side or if you are on the defense side. I am telling y'all now, there is no investigator that can walk in a firm and say, here is my declaration, use it to, for a pleading. It does not work like that. It does not work like that. A private investigator who has not been hired by a plaintiff's counsel or defense counsel cannot walk into their firm and say, here's my declaration, use it. Because if that is the case, why didn't she go into Shepherd Mullins law firm and say, hey, here's my declaration to help Tony Busby? She already had a general purpose of what she was doing. One, this investigator, she was hired even before that case was dismissed. Like I know that. She had to be. Because I know how PIs work. They probably been investigating this girl since October. But no way can somebody who call themselves a PI can just walk. And you state in your supplemental declaration that you have been in a legal field for 40 years and you have been a PI for 20 years. You telling me, and you stated yourself that attorneys engaged with you on their cases. But in your declaration that you submitted before, you stated that nobody hired you. So, what makes your declaration admissible in court? Why do you think that they're going to accept that? I would not be surprised if if Judge Epstein does not cuss these people out. Because what is this? I'm doing good, Teddy. I'm doing good. Cece said I heard her voice where she said he was there. She was angry and upset. The man is not being honest. That dog losing his mind. Y'all, ooh, baby, when we get to the transcript, y'all gonna see. Because Charlotte lied in her first declaration. She was saying that she was calm, but based off of what Charlotte and James stated, she was definitely scared. She was definitely scared. At this point, maybe these mysterious investigators need to be investigated. They do. They really do. Shadow says, but wasn't Busby going after everyone, including those people that did nothing? What do you mean? Busby wasn't going after nobody. They trying to play the judge like a poop butt. Like a poop butt. Oh my gosh. All right. I think we're going. I'm late, but can already sense there's a little bit pieces of conversation. Maybe they didn't include everything. That's what I said. That's why I have to hear the audio, and I hope that Shepard Mullen requests discovery to get their hands on that audio and hire a forensic expert to ensure that that audio, because what I'm thinking that they did, they got the audio, they tweaked it, then they sent it to US Legal to get it transcribed. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you tweaked it and then you sent it to US Legal, because US Legal or whoever transcribed this, they're going to only type what they hear from the audio. So if you've already tweaked the audio, US Legal or whoever transcribed this is not going to know, oh, it's been tweaked. That tweaked. They're just going to, they're going to type as they're listening, they're transcribing. Y'all see what I'm saying? So we need the unedited raw version. So that's why I'm saying I hope that Shepard Mullen requests the audio, hires a forensic person to view this, listen to it, and see if it has been altered in any way. That's the only way we're gonna know if it's authenticated. Yeah, the dog usually sits on exactly. But yeah, we're gonna go into that. All right, y'all ready? So birds are chirping. I wish they had the time as to when this took place, but that's neither here nor there. All we know is that it was on February 21st, 2025. All right, birds chirping, footsteps, knocking on the door, dog barking. Hi, how can I help y'all? Hey, how are you? Good, and you? Uh-oh, puppy, can you step out for a second, or I don't want him to bite us. And that's normally because if you're a process server or a private investigator, then you never go into someone's home. That's just standard. Oh, he doesn't bite. Charlotte says, oh, okay. Doe says, how can I help y'all? James says, how's everything? And then he says her name. Just imagine if somebody you don't know comes to your front door and asks you how you're doing and says your name. How would you feel? How would you feel? I would be shocked. I would be shocked. She says, yeah. And then James Butler says, how are you doing? My name is Robert. This is Charlotte. We just came to kind of talk to you real quick, kind of run a couple of things by you. We just kind of want to see what's going on. I know there's kind of a court case going and it has since gone away. This let me know that you knew that the case was no longer. Whoever hired you should have told you that there was an agreement as to which nobody was to approach any of his former clients. Let's just start with that. She said, yeah. James says, so we're just here trying to figure out what happened with that. We're actually thinking that you might have been taken advantage of a little bit by maybe an attorney. Does that sound like something? Maybe that? She responds, who are you guys? This right here, it tells me all I need to know. Just like the Texas cases, same thing happened to those people. That's the first thing they say. We think you might have been taken advantage of. Hmm. She says, who are you guys? Charlotte says, wait, did they just both give her fake names? No. So James is his first name. He just gave her Robert. He just said his name was Robert. That's it. But it's funny that they says kinda. Who talks like that? But anywho's, so y'all let me know that y'all knew that the case was already dismissed. Case closed. Charlotte says, we're not here to hurt you or anything. We just want to talk. So y'all already know or knew that she was scared. So for somebody to be like, we're not here to hurt you or anything, you're reassuring her that you're not there to hurt her. Obviously, you know that there is a history of somebody threatening her. Child, this is wild. This is wild. Jane Doe says, how did you find out where I am? How did you find out who I am? She didn't say that once, she said it twice. James' response, well, based on the interview and all the paperwork that we've got, it was kind of pieced together. But listen. Then Charlotte says, you're going to remain a Jane Doe. James says, very simple, very simply, they don't want your name to come out at all. They're kind of okay with that, with you being a Jane Doe. But obviously, now that everything's been dropped, they want to clear everything and make sure that, so basically, I had a few questions. Second confirmation, y'all knew the case was dropped. Once again, there was agreement for y'all not to harass her. That was the whole purpose of her dropping the case. Let's continue. She said, okay. James said, hoping that, again, if you cooperate and kind of tell us what's going on, everything remains a Jane Doe. You don't tell anybody who you are or what's going on. Nothing. And she says, okay. James says, so a couple of quick questions was, how did you end up approaching the attorney? Or did the attorney approach you? Or how did that work? She states, something I saw on Facebook. James says, you saw that on Facebook? And I showed you at the beginning of this live how we get our leads. So it's not uncommon. An ad. James says, do you mind if we, just so that the barking. All right, I'm sorry. So he was getting agitated of the dog barking, apparently. Charlotte said, it's okay. Jane Doe says, I'm just curious as to how y'all found out or figured out who I am and where I am, because they said they wouldn't release it even. I'm just curious as to how y'all found out or figured out who I am and where I am, because they said they wouldn't release it even. We all seen the email that Alex Spiro agreed to, saying that they would no longer employ anybody to go mess with her or any of Tony Busby's former clients, employees, and family members. But here we are. You just show up at someone's door and ask them to step outside. That's weird in itself. Yep. Y'all definitely hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Jay-Z should have just left this. He should have. Because why would they say that? I can already tell she was scared and saying, You're probably put out her ad. Yeah, and that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. All right, so let's get back into it. So after she says that, James says this. So they kind of didn't, but just in the interview and some of the things, like when you take four little pieces of things and then add them together, we narrow it down to maybe 20 to 30 people. And then eventually just doing background checks and Facebook, everything kind of matches. This is where Ian Pillinger comes in at. So Ian Pillinger does all of the legwork, and then they send out these PIs to go track these people down and stalk them in order to find out exactly who they are. I'm pretty sure that's how they did this. Charlotte says, and like I said, we still want to be anonymous. Well, we still want you to be anonymous. Now, who is we? Are you saying that you and James want her to be anonymous, or the people who you work with, aka Jay-Z and Quinn Emanuel, want her to be anonymous? Because make this make sense. I thought nobody hired you. She says, okay. Charlotte says everything was Jane Doe, and that's exactly the way it's going to remain. But we just have a few questions. She says, okay. Still puzzled. James says, so you found a lawyer, or you found something on Facebook, like, and she says, I found something on Facebook for the AVA, and they put me in contact with Tony, and then that's how it went. James says, Tony? And she replies, Busby. Now, James states, okay, so that's who you contacted first. Did you ever meet him? And she says, yeah. James then said, okay, we're just double checking because I know he has a lot of people who works in his office. She says, yeah, no, I met him. He flew me out to, and then James says, Houston. And she says, yeah, Houston. James says, okay, so you went. You went and saw him there. Charlotte says, did you go by yourself? She says, yes. Charlotte says, okay. And I guess 5 minutes has passed. James says, did he give you money to pay for a trip, or did you Did he just reimburse you? She said, no, he paid for it. See, they're trying to find, because normally what happens, I'll talk about that at the end. She said, no, he paid for it. Charlotte says he flew her out there. James Butler says, right, so he did pay. Okay. Since the situation, have you been paid at all for what's going on? Now, when you first talked to him, he was promising you anything, or did he help you with your story, or you got your story on your own? Like what? What was the initial meeting with him like? She says, the first time I met him was in a coffee shop. Charlotte says, out here or in Texas? She says, in Houston. James says, okay, so you met him. And did you go through each step, or he just sat down and you just talked? She says, we talked about what all was going to go through and what all had happened. Because that's normally what we do. We sit down with our clients for an interview and we get more information. 9 times out of 10 in a sexual assault case, the attorneys will sit down with it can't be, I mean, they will go through us, but the attorneys really have to sit down because they know, I don't want to say they know more of the law, but they know what laws to actually would apply in this particular case, because we got to get dates, we got to make sure that the statute of limitations has not ran, all of that other stuff. Okay, so yes, he's going to tell her what the process, because any client who does a case, they're going to ask you, okay, how long does this take, what is the process? And we have to ensure that these clients understand that if you go, like, we tell them about the pre-lit process and we tell them about the litigation process, and it neither one of them is easy, especially in sexual assault cases. So James says, okay. Charlotte says, so something happened, or did he tell you what happened? She responds, no, he didn't tell me what happened. Something actually happened when I was 13. I ran away and I ended up there. Charlotte says, but did it involve anybody that you named? She states it involved Jay-Z and Diddy, but not the other two. It involved Jay-Z and Diddy, but not the other two. Yeah, this is crazy. James said, oh, this is killing me. Golly. All right. So, why did it now get dropped? She said, because I was too scared to go forward with it. They told me he was threatening to unalive me. Jay-Z was threatening. Charlotte says, who told you that? She says, they told me Jay-Z was threatening to unalive me. James Butler said, who? Charlotte says, who told you that? She said, the lawyers. James says, the lawyers did? Charlotte says, Busby? And she says, yeah, he said that there were threats against my life, and that saying anything else could get me in a lot of trouble, that he could come after me. James says, well, I can almost promise you that that's not accurate. That's probably what. So the problem is them going forward. I think they were facing a lot of repercussions from it. And I think they might have tried to talk you out of just getting rid of the case. She said, okay. James says, so now I know you had the military service. How come? What happened to the military service that you kind of left early? She stated, I just got injured. Butler says, you got injured. We saw some of your Facebook stuff that said some of your issues you have now is from the military. All right, so as far as you're concerned, the whole story you gave is accurate. Mm, yes. So they confirmed the whole story you gave is accurate. She says yes. James Butler then says they talked you into into drop the case because now, well, I'm not going to say they talked you into it, but they kind of told you that. She says, no, they talked me into dropping the case. Mind you, this was the agreement. So when she says they, we're talking about Mark Kasowitz, the Busby Law Firm, Jane Doe, Alex Spiro, Quinn Emanuel, and Jay Z. They all talked about it. And y'all know the reason why she dropped it. Because Alex Spiro agreed that he would not go after this girl if she dropped the case. Please, I hope this is making sense to everybody. I pray that this is making sense. I pray this makes sense to you guys. No, they talked me into dropping this case. See, they're going to try to make it seem like Busby is the only person that tried to make this case. But y'all have to understand how this works. Alex Spiro and Mark Kasowitz is the one who came with the agreement. Mark Kasowitz goes to Busby and say, hey, I spoke with Alex and this, they said they'll drop the motion for sanctions if Jane Doe drops her case. And in that, I'll put in stipulations that, if they agree to do that and we drop the case, that they will never ever harass her again. You, your clients, da 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 da. Busby goes to Jane Doe and say, hey, I spoke with Mark. Mark says, if you agree to drop the case, then, he'll drop the motion for sanctions and they agree not to ever harass you again. I'm sure that's how the conversation went. Spiro goes to Jay-Z and say, hey, bro, look, she says she gonna drop the case. If you go ahead and take that motion for sanctions off the table and, we could get rid of this stuff. And if she dropped the case, the whole case is going to be dropped. She's not going to come back after you ever again. But we just can't harass her anymore. And Jay-Z says, all right, man, let's do that. And here we are. The case is dropped. Right? All right. So, yeah. So when she says they talked me into dropping in the case, it wasn't like, okay, you need to drop this case right now. Da, 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 da. No, because it was a global agreement for both sides because they promised her that they would not come after her. Why do y'all think that she's asking, how did y'all find me? They said that they wasn't going to release any of my information. I hope this is registering. I hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. All right. James says, okay, you were not planning on dropping the case. Did they ever promise you money? Or did they just say, we'll see what happens? Or she says, well, they said that I would get a payout, but I already knew that that was not 100% accurate. Charlotte then says, did you sign an agreement or anything? Any kind of retainer, like when you retained them to handle the case, that they would get 50% or you would just get 50%? Yes, I did sign something like that. I've already showed y'all what Tony Busby's client agreement looks like. It is not 50%. In the state of Texas, actually any PI firm, the lowest fees that we could take out pre-litigation is 30%. It's either going to be 30%, 33 on a third percent, or 35%. When it gets into litigation, once we file that lawsuit, it bumps up to 40%. That is the fee breakdown, and I showed y'all what his attorney-client agreement looked like. So they full of shit. That's why I said you got to read your contract, because she says, yeah, I did sign something like that, but I guarantee you she didn't read her contract. But let's continue. Charlotte says, oh my God, these goddamn things. All right, so here what Charlotte says. Oh wait, yeah. Okay. That that they would get it, okay, and then they would wait. What? Y'all, this shit don't be making sense. That's why I don't think this is the whole thing. She said, yes, it was. I did sign something like that. So they're talking about the agreement. Then Charlotte says, okay, that they would get it. Okay. And then when they drop it or when you dropped it, did you have to pay them expenses or anything? Okay. What? James says, no. Okay. What? Charlotte says, so you haven't paid them any. Something is missing. Hold up. She asked Jane Doe if she signed something like an agreement. And she says, yes, I signed something like that. Then she says, okay, that they would get it. They would get what? The money? Okay, that they would get it. Okay. And then when they dropped it or when you dropped it, did you have to pay them expenses or anything? He says, no. Okay. This right. This doesn't make sense. Why would you say okay after that? And then James will say, no, okay. Where's the conversation? Where's her answering right here? This doesn't make sense. Then after James says, no, okay, this is weird. Henderson says, so you haven't paid them anything and they haven't paid you anything. Okay, so you honestly believe, and I don't know the entire story of what happened when you were 13, why you ran away and yada, yada, yada. But Jay Z, they honestly, you feel like they raped you. James says, we don't know. Y'all, I'm telling y'all this right now. This between here and here does not make a lick of sense. So y'all had a conversation about the retainer agreement. She says she signed something like that. Then you say, I'm gonna read this one more time because maybe I'm thrown off, but something is missing. I'm gonna read it one more time to make sure I ain't tripping. Charlotte says, okay, that they would get it, okay, and then when they dropped it or when you dropped it, did you have to give them expenses or anything, okay? Then James says, no, okay. Then that there's something missing. There's a part that's missing. That does not make sense. So you're asking this to Jane Doe, but Jane Doe doesn't respond. But James says, no, okay. And then you go on to say, so you haven't paid them. It's like, where is the response between this part? Something is missing, y'all. The tape has been the tape has been edited. I know I'm not tripping. Am I tripping, y'all? Am I tripping? Please tell me I'm not tripping, y'all. Hold up. I'm looking at y'all comments. Ooh, I'm behind. Ooh, I'm behind. Good googly muggy. Hold up. Okay. Nosy MO. This is it is terrible. It is terrible. Oh my god, this is so incriminating. Spiro didn't even mention this part. How terrifying. Have y'all ever noticed how behind news organizations TMZ they are? They are. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. I pray she gets justice somehow. I do too, but I don't think that she's going to want to go to litigation anymore. Poor girl, I would not have talked to them. I always leave my door open and let my dogs bark at the strangers. With my pew pew close by. I know that's right. What legal recourse does she has now that the agreement has been broken? Well, she can if she wanted to. That's a breach of contract. And somebody was arguing with me earlier, man. I didn't assisted so many pro se clients in a breach of contract. All I need is an email. If you put something in agreement and y'all breach it, that's called a breach of contract. Point blank, period. Or how they able to control what's put in Google for anyone to find. He must be paying big money. Oh yeah, people they are so behind. They still on the fact that Jane Doe lying. Oh, she is being victimized again. No, this transcript is ridiculous, y'all. We done already figured out that there's a big chunk of conversation that was missing. Yeah, y'all definitely tip jars open, hit the cash app, super chats, support. And y'all know I don't ever ask for that, but it's very much appreciated. And y'all could just simply hit the like button. Did she submit the transcript to Jay-Z's case? Because this is y'all, this is on Jay-Z's case. This is on Jay-Z's case. What's up, Carly? Thank you. Rite Aid begging for the case to be dropped if he says, or why are they? I was like, Rite Aid. Yeah, my point exactly. I told y'all from the beginning this was going to be a shit show. He was doing way too much in the beginning to prove his innocence. Another blurb is missing. Yup. They edited. I told y'all what they did was they edited the tape, then sent it to be transcribed. They fucked up. And I don't know. We're gonna what page? Let me see. Let me write this. This is page 18. I want to know the rest of the conversation. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Y'all, this is wild. Wait, hold up. Hold up. Wait, is somebody sending me money? Oh my gosh, y'all are awesome. My cash y'all are dope. Thank you for the cash app. Hibiscus, thank you, love. Thank you. I was like, wait, I'm getting messages. Thank you for the $10 cash app, Hibiscus. It's awesome. Thank you so much. So many leading questions in investigation. Exactly. Y'all see? They're leading. There is no open. It's not you ask a question and you have the other party explain it. There's like, okay, they're leading her, and then she gives these one or two word answers. That's sus. I can't believe they're so stupid to think anyone will believe this trash. They're insulting all of our intelligence right now. That's what I say. I said yesterday, we in an hour. Yeah, they're mind fucking us. That's what they're doing. The investigators do need to be investigated. Yes. Yes. Shout out to all of them. Okay. Cause I thought I was tripping for a minute, y'all. I thought I couldn't read. I thought I couldn't read for a minute. This is bananas. But okay. You said she may have nodded and they responded verbally. I've seen transcripts. I'm gonna show you something. We on page 18, right? I'm gonna show y'all something. What does this say right here? What does it say right here? Birds chirping, footsteps. Well, I guess this is everything that she hears. But mm, mm, I see what you're saying, but we need video. Yeah, you're right. She could have nodded. She could have nodded. She could have, because I'm thinking the transcriber is just going based off of what she hears. We need the video. It has to be a video with this. It got to be a video. It definitely got to be a video. You say you hope the judge catches that. At the end of the day, all of this, I'm just reading it so we can get an idea of what happened. But all this is irrelevant. They wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. They wasn't even supposed to be there. There was already an agreement that says that Jane Doe was not going to be harassed anymore. So therefore, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So back to this. All right, so I'm gonna start right here because we don't know what's going on between that and that whole conversation is gone. So you haven't paid them anything and they haven't paid you anything. Okay, so honestly believe, and I don't know the entire story of what happened when you were 13, why you ran away, yada yada. But Jay-Z, they honestly, you feel like they graped you. And James Butler says, we don't know. Y'all don't know what. She says it was more Diddy, but Busby brought Jay-Z into it. Oh my gosh, this is getting on my nerves. See now, if you don't mind, can you explain that? Cause that's kind of, and here she goes. He asked if Jay-Z was there. I said yes. Butler says, so when you originally sat down at the coffee shop, you told him that Diddy did something to you. She says yes, because it started out, it was just Diddy and blank, and then Jay-Z came in. but not from your mouth. She says, yeah. And then he says, he asked you about Jay-Z. She says, yeah. And then he says, but Jay-Z was, wait, but Jay-Z was, you're saying he was definitely there, but he had no part in it, or he was just, and she says he was there. Charlotte then says he was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any actual acts towards you. It was strictly, and she said, yeah. Charlotte says, okay. James says, okay. And now we're talking about it was at a party or something like that, right? An after party. So he was just present at the party. Okay. So you only got into Jay-Z's name because he was asking you, and did he suggest that Jay-Z might have had some part in it? And then she says he was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him with Jay-Z. And Charlotte says, with Jay-Z? Busby did? She says, yeah. Do you know why? She says, no. Butler says, he never mentioned it. Did you ask, like, why do you keep harping on? She says, no. Butler says, okay. Henderson says, why did you do the interview with NBC? Who set that up? She said, Tony did. Charlotte says, Tony? Butler says Busby. And then Jane Doe says Busby. Charlotte says Busby. Okay. So where did you do the interview? In Tony Busby's office in Houston. Charlotte says, okay. And he flew you out there again for that? Or was it the same time? She said, no, it was the same time he flew me out. And so she was about to say something, and then Charlotte says he called NBC and got him there, and Doe says, yeah. Charlotte says, okay. Butler says, okay, that's all right. Listen, we definitely appreciate that you're being honest, because like you said, again, when it comes to like Jay-Z, we're kind of here on kind of his behalfish, because we believe that he said, I don't even know what, I had no part of that. And if you were pushed into saying that, that's something that's kind of worthwhile to us. We gonna read this part again, y'all, because what? Okay, that's all right. Listen, now this is coming from James. James says, definitely appreciate that you're being honest, because like you said, again, when it comes to like Jay-Z, we're kind of here on kind of his behalf, because we believe that he said, I don't even know what, I had no part of that. And if you were pushed into saying that, that's something that's kind of worthwhile to us. So you admit that you are there on behalf of Jay-Z, but yet state in your declarations that you weren't hired by Jay-Z and any attorneys. So therefore it goes back to the reason as why is this declaration being submitted on Jay-Z's behalf when nobody hired you. Can somebody please make this make sense? Can somebody please make this make sense? Butler guy is a loser. He is. Go check Sandra even. No, it's not. It is not. Well, here's the thing. I would be like stalking and harassment. Stalking and harassment is not lawful. But two, they had an agreement. The contract has been breached. That's it. Because at the time, they were not even supposed to be messing with her, approaching her in any type of way. So by this man saying that they're there on behalf of Jay-Z, that breaches the agreement that was made between Alex Spiro and Mark Kasowitz. And that's why Mark Kasowitz in his declaration stated that he was surprised that Alex even used Jane Doe's case in that California case, because they came to an agreement. He was shocked that they were still harassing this girl. And that's why Kasowitz ended up filing his declaration on behalf of Tony Busby. If they know so much, they know Jay-Z was on okay. On his that's what we're saying. And they says kinda here. Like either you there or you're not there on behalf of Jay-Z. Please make this make sense. Please make this make sense. And then guess what? And she says, yeah. So Charlotte, after he said that, Charlotte says, yeah. And then Jane Doe says, you're here on Jay-Z's behalf. James says, not on his behalf. So, sir, is you on it? Please make this make sense. Please make this make sense. You hear right here, you says we're kind of here on his behalf ish. Charlotte agrees. Jane Doe says, you're here on Jay-Z's behalf? And then James had to double down and says, not on his behalf. Charlotte says indirectly, but Jay-Z had nothing to do with this, correct? And she's saying, right. And Charlotte says, other than he was at the party that you were at, so I mean, he did not assault you. And she said, no. Would you be willing to give us an affidavit to that effect? And Butler says, and from what we were told, if you do an affidavit saying that this is true, they pretty much have said that they will remain keeping your name as Jane Doe all the way through. So, who are you talking to that told you that they were going to keep her name anonymous? So, either you work for Jay-Z or you don't work for Jay-Z. And then you're saying indirectly, but yet you're telling her that they said that they're going to keep your name anonymous. Can we please make this make sense? Because it ain't making sense at all. It ain't making sense at all. What's up, Alice? What's up? This is not making sense at all. Charlotte says, you will be Jane Doe. Robert says, they're a little more upset with, they think you're more of a victim so who is they? If you don't work for Jay-Z and Quinn Emanuel or Alex Spiro, who are they? Who thinks that she is a victim? On that end of the case, that they took advantage of you and kind of made you say things that maybe weren't not accurate to make the case better. And then Charlotte Henderson says, right, to get them more money. And she says, yeah. And then James Butler says, so if that's true, that's something we kind of, and then Charlotte says that we need to know. James that says, James says, because again, I hate to say it, you have children. They have children also. If one was responsible, that's one thing. One was not responsible. His kids, his wife, his family, now they're hearing that he might be responsible for something that nobody wants to be accused of if they didn't do it. Do you understand that? And she says, yeah. And then James says, I'm sure you can understand that. I mean, and she says, yeah. And then James says, nobody wants their kids thinking bad of them. And then Charlotte says, right. So would you be willing to help us as far as the fact that the things that you said about Jay-Z were not correct? And James says, we just want to set the record straight so that he's able, so that, and then Charlotte says, so that he can move on and this can get out of his, being accused of this because, it didn't happen. Correct? Correct? Thank you, Donner. Admitting that they're on behalf of Jay, breaking news brought to us by Cassandra. Yes, y'all get the word out. Y'all get the word out. They're going to thank you. And also, I didn't even thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, for them to admit that they were there on behalf of Jay-Z says a lot. I don't care if it was indirectly or directly. After these people that told you that you weren't supposed to harass this girl, or any of Tony Busby's clients, former employees, or family members. They were going to get out here if she didn't sign. You know what? That's all they was trying to do. What's up? Did it? It seems to me as if Jay hired them the way they said on Jay-Z's behalf. This is bad. They harassed and stalked that girl. Shady. Yep. I think someone doing business with Jay hired them. Remember, Spiro said people are Jay wanted answers. Yeah. And y'all, this goes back. Let me tell y'all something. Quinn Emanuel, that has been Jay-Z's firm. They are known for doing shady stuff, not just in this case, but other cases that don't even deal with SA at all. So it's just bananas. It is just bananas. Hold that. Oh Lord. Oh, Helen. That's Gold. I didn't know that was you. Thank you for the 20 love. Thank you for the cash app. Y'all are awesome tonight, babies. Y'all are at my legal eagle squad. Busby filed suit against Attorney Croft, and she filed back to get this. Yeah, man, let me tell y'all something. I'll tell you, those Texas cases, he ain't playing, because with Marcy Croft, see, it's crazy because Marcy Croft is now saying that Jessica Santiago was not a real person, but yet somebody came to Jose Maldonado and Geraldo Garcia's home. Somebody in another affidavit said that they had investigators stalking them. Like, dude has a neighbor across the street that also Busby helped in one of his cases that they were stalking too, and they just started talking in the yard one day. Dude showed him the ring bell, the door cam, and noticed, like, yeah, that man was at my house. Quinn Emanuel has told the court, well, another court, that they hire investigators. Yet in another court, they said they don't do anything like that. Please make it make sense. Please make it make sense. I don't think none of these people know what they're doing. Spiro admitted in the interview he said Jay's friends had questions. Oh, she also wait, hold up. She also has an AI company. I didn't know that. I need to go look at that. I don't F with AI. They always talking about, thank you so much, Gold Digger. You're awesome. Yeah, AI. I spoke with the attorney on that. I would not be incorporating AI on nothing. You should start a separate tip jar. Every curse word you say, we all I try to do better, but y'all, when y'all been working for a law firm, we do a lot of cussing, y'all. I can't even get over the Santiago isn't a real person stuff. Child, children went over some of the out of state cases. Busby is wiping the floor. Let me tell y'all something. That I stand beside Busby. I don't care. I don't care. That man voted for Trump. I don't care. That man is an awesome attorney. He knows what he's doing. He's strategic with the shits. Okay. All right. Going back to this, y'all. Going back to this. So Charlotte says, okay, I'm gonna reread this part. Now pay attention. Pay attention to this. So Charlotte says, so that he can move on and this could get out of his, being accused of this, because it didn't happen, correct? Correct? Look at what she says. At this point, she's tired. Jane Doe says, you have a good day, guys. James says, are you sure? Charlotte says, blank, come here. It's okay. Y'all pay attention to this part. She says, blank, come here. It's okay. James says, I promise, we're not here to hurt you. We're not. Charlotte says, we're going to try to help you. We're not doing this to hurt you. This is all to help you. Believe me. What's wrong? Tell me, talk to me. James says, yeah, if you have any concerns, tell us what they are and we'll see if we can. And then Charlotte says, just talk to me. If Jay-Z didn't have anything to do with it, it's okay. But if he did, we need to know. I mean, I promise you, we're not here to hurt you. And like I said, we're going to keep you out of it. You're going to be Jane Doe. This is so weird. James then says, we're just going to set the record straight. That's really the only thing we're here for. And Charlotte said, I promise. And Jane Doe said, I don't want him getting mad at me. Because, mind you, they had an agreement. And that's the whole reason why she wanted to dismiss the case. They agreed. Charlotte says, he's not. And I don't know where these threats that's never that came from Busby, and that never happened. Jay-Z never said anything like that. Well, how do you know Jay-Z didn't say anything like that, ma'am? I thought you didn't work for him, ma'am. Jane Doe says, but you're saying he found me and you guys are here because he found me. Now, do y'all think she said this in a calm voice or in a frightened voice? Charlotte says, I don't know that he found you. And then Butler says, I don't know if he found you. Like I said, we're going to keep your name as Jane Doe. We're just independent hires. Like we just come talk to you and try to set the record straight. That's all we're told to come here for. As long as you were honest and kept with it, they kind of said we're going to get a lawyer to come, and a lawyer has nothing to do with anything. Have you sign an affidavit, set the record straight, and keep you as Jane Doe, just to kind of clear out, just clear the truth. I'm going to reread that again because I think y'all probably missed this part. He said, James Butler said again, I don't know if he found you. Like I said, we're going to keep your name as Jane Doe. We're just independent hires. Who hired you? Like we just come talk to you and try to set the record straight. That's all we are told to come here for. Who told you to go there? Who hired you? Who told you to go to her home? After an agreement was put in place that nobody was to harass her. Quinn Emanuel and Alex Spiro was told not to I don't want to say it told. Alex agreed to not employ anybody to further investigate or harass Tony or any of his former clients. But yet we are here. Then they said, and as long as you were honest and kept with it, they kind of said, we are going to get a lawyer to come. So what would happen if she wasn't honest and kept and what? And then it says, and a lawyer has nothing to do with anything. So I'm confused. So you're telling y'all independent hires, but somebody told y'all to come there to get the record straight, but yet they said that they're going to get a lawyer to come, but then they saying the lawyer didn't have anything to do with this. But then you're saying that they told you that she needs to sign an affidavit and get the record straight and to keep her as Jane Doe. What? I'm confused. And then Charlotte says, right. We just want to know that Jay-Z he was there, but he had nothing to do with your sexual assault. And that's all. Like, we're not asking you to say nothing bad happened to you. We're not here to say that you're, just that. And then Charlotte says, yeah, we're not dismissing the fact that something happened to you that nothing to do with but we just want to clarify that Jay-Z did not have anything to do with it and that he didn't actually assault you. James says, is that a fair assessment? And Jane Doe says, yeah. Because now, mind y'all, she's probably halfway in the house or standing by the screen door and they're talking to her. James says, okay, that's all. Charlotte then says, that's all we need. That's all we want. And that's all we want to do is just ask you about that. And if you're willing to sign an affidavit to the fact that Jay-Z had nothing to do with it. Then James says, and that's all it would say. It's not going to say anything else about anything else that happened to you that night, just that he was not a participant. Then, when they go forward, it's because they have a problem with other folks, Diddy, because they're trying to make up things against their client. So they're looking to go after them. They and then can leave your name out of it as Jane Doe with cooperation, because then there's no reason to include you. Oh, they're talking about the lawsuit. Just go after Busby and the Busby law firm and the other attorney and not go after Jane Doe. So what they're saying, and so this happened February 21st, right? They were trying to get her to sign this affidavit. And because she didn't sign the affidavit, that prompted Jay-Z to file that lawsuit in Alabama. Because look what they said. They said, this goddamn shit, let me turn this off. James Butler says, and that's all it would say. It's not going to say anything else about anything else that happened to you that night, just that he was not a participant. Then they will go forward. It's because they have a problem with other folks now, talking about Tony Busby, the Busby law firm, because they're trying to make up things against their client. So they're going to look to go after them. And they can leave your name out of it as Jane Doe with cooperation. So on February 21st, if she would have signed this affidavit, she would not have been included in that Alabama lawsuit. If she would have signed this affidavit on the 21st, and that February 25th hearing with Epstein in California, Busby would have been cooked in that case. Game over. That's defamation right there, because that's all the judge wanted. But she didn't. And because she didn't, Jay-Z filed a lawsuit to include her. So yet y'all are private investigators, y'all independently hired, you was there on Jay-Z behalf, but you're saying indirectly. So who did y'all tell? Who did y'all report back to say, hey, Jane Doe didn't sign that affidavit? Let me give you, we're gonna, it's like, how can I say this? Just visually think about it. You have the private investigators, right? Remember the attorney, Robert Schwartz. He is the one who is representing Jay-Z in that California case. At the February 25th hearing, the judge said, hey, call your PI and ask them who they have that could testify that everything that was brought against Jay-Z was a lie. He could not do that. He couldn't do that because Jane Doe didn't sign that affidavit on the 21st. So on the 21st, after they left Jane Doe's house, who did y'all call? Y'all called Robert, who is Jay-Z's attorney, to say, hey, we could not get her to sign that affidavit. Come on now. This is crazy. So you reported back. You reported back to them. And so once Robert Schwartz, who is with Quinn Emanuel, got word that she was not going to sign that affidavit, y'all said, okay, we're going to sue her in Alabama. But knowing darn well that y'all made an agreement already not to even contact her, I hope and pray that Miss Vasquez and Shepard Mullen is reading through this and have the same questions, because who told y'all to do this? Y'all weren't even supposed to approach these folks in the first place. This is crazy. This is crazy. So he's telling her, so because basically they're trying to make things up against their client, so they're going to look to go after them, in which they already did, and they can leave your name out of it as Jane Doe with cooperation because there's no reason to include you because we don't think you're kind of a victim. No, we do think you're kind of a victim in this. We think they kind of took advantage of you. And then she asks, but how does this help me? How does this help me? Y'all are coming after me. Y'all asking me to sign, but how does this help me? Are y'all going to stop harassing me? James responded, it keeps you anonymous. And to be honest, it sets the record straight. Like I said, I don't think it's necessarily fair that some of his kids think that they did something that they didn't do. And I said, obviously, he's very popular. A lot of people think that he maybe did something really horrible. And if he didn't, we want to straighten it out. Y'all have a nice afternoon. That's what Jane Doe told her after he said that. She said, y'all have a nice afternoon. And then Charlotte says, blank, can we call you? Bitch, you got her phone number? And that was it. So I'm assuming now it's funny that the transcriber didn't put door closed or door slammed. But y'all know what is crazy though? Okay, dog barking, knocking on the door. So I'm like, why didn't the end of the video say, I mean, the end of the audio say door shut or uh dogs barking in the middle? You know what I'm saying? Because we heard the dogs barking in the freaking audio. So we already, you know what? We already know. We already know that there's a section mission missing right here. It's been audited. It's been audited, damn. It's been edited. It's been altered. It's definitely have been altered. This here, and I don't care. I have read many, 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 many transcripts. This part right here absolutely does not make sense. And even when the transcriber is transcribing it, they will send it back to the person, which means that they would have sent it back to her. And she could have said, okay, here she nodded or something of that effect. But it doesn't make sense. A lot of this stuff does not make sense at all. No, for real. They got her phone number. This is crazy. But she at this point, now they've been on her freaking doorstep for 15, probably 15, 20 minutes. They was just there. So in all, to sum this up, they were there indirectly on Jay-Z's behalf. Nobody hired him. They wanted her to sign an affidavit because they wanted all this to clear the air. Jay-Z, that's what he wants. He has a status. He has children. He has a wife. He doesn't want to be in that bad light. So by her signing this affidavit, that would have cleared up everything. And if she would have signed it, then the California case and that California case would have gone the way that he wanted it to go because obviously now everything will be considered defamatory. Then she would not have even been named. That Alabama lawsuit probably wouldn't be non-existent because she signed that affidavit. Because mind y'all, that was filed on the 3rd. Y'all have to understand, Jane Doe's story never changed. There is a total of 2 affidavits and 2 declarations. The first affidavit was filed on November 18th. The second affidavit was filed on December 8th, the day that Tony Busby amended the complaint in the Sean Combs case to name Jay Z as a defendant. Then, most recently, in the California case, she has inserted two declarations. Her story has not changed. In this transcript, one, we could first and foremost, they lied. These investigators lied. They stated that she was calm, she was answering all of their questions, she didn't seem like she was in fear, none of that. But yet, y'all are when she goes inside, where's that part at? Where is this part at? When they says, where is this at? When she was going inside and they was telling her that they wasn't gonna hurt her. Like, why what this right here? We're going to what, look at this. She said, after she said good day, she said, "Are you sure?" Then Charlotte says, "Come here. It's okay." What, I mean, was she about to cry? Did she seem like she was upset? Like, why would you choose those words? And then you say, "I promise we are not here to hurt you." Why would you use those word choice? This does not make any sense to me. Yes, Cece, everything is kinda. Everything is kinda with James. I'm glad she didn't sign it. Yeah, if they do go ahead and do, I wish they would at this point do restraining orders because this is ridiculous. And I know now this is why victims don't come forward, is because of this. This is their biggest fear. That's why the courts allow them to use pseudonyms so they won't be harassed, so they won't be intimidated. She Jane Doe dropped, but won't it come back up? And then Jay Z, but yeah, and see that's the thing. That's the thing. So in last night, I spoke on Mark Cassawetz's declaration, and he is the one who showed us the email with the agreement that was made between all parties. And that's why in his declaration, he stated that he was surprised that Alex Spiro used this case in this defamation suit because they had an agreement. The agreement was to never harass, never employ anyone, any investigator to harass or further investigate Tony Busby, the firm, his clients, former clients, employees, and family members. So Spyro didn't tell nobody that. So I'm very curious as what's going to happen on March 26th because it was clearly stated for them not to even mess with Jane Doe. I feel like God brought Jane against Jay Z to illustrate his operations. He did. He did. Everyone benefited from the dismissal deal but her, and it seems like the deal was conceived without her input of not. No, no, it wasn't. That's why here what she said. What did she say? I'm gonna go right to what she said because remember she said y'all found me. Yeah, right here. But you're saying he found me and you guys are here because he found me. Then going back up, even in the beginning. Oh, and she also said that they came to an agreement. That's why she dismissed it. I have to go. I should have started highlighting. But no, everybody had knowledge. She even said it in this transcript that they all came to an agreement. They all agreed to drop and dismiss the case. So that's why she was, how are y'all here? Because she stated, how she asked, How are y'all here? Because they said they wasn't going to release my name or any information. Hold up. Da da da. Okay. Da da da. Let me see. She says, "Who are you guys?" Then she says, "How did you find out where I am? How did you find out who I am?" Right there. And then some more stuff. So she knew, and that's why she was surprised that they showed up at her doorstep. What a weirdo to think this wouldn't bring additional charges. He literally thinks he's invincible. Beyonce hired them, or maybe Beyonce is the female artist that's the man. Let me tell y'all something. Remember the John Doe, y'all, and this I have been thinking about this. What happened to John Doe? They are going this hard with Jane Doe. Have any investigators find out who John Doe was? How come there's no lawsuits against John Doe? John Doe said that you woke up next to him. He peeped over and seen a female pull the covers over her head. Where's John Doe? And why are they not going this ham on John Doe? I just want to know. I want to know who that other female celebrity was in that bed. You have a point indeed. Use the foolishness thing in this word to confound the wise, but not always wise to do what is being done and get. Yep, you're right. Notice how them investigators keep mentioning Jay-Z. Yeah, what they tried to do, they tried to butter her up. They was like, "You have kids. Would you want would you want to be in this predicament that Jay-Z was in? Come on, we're trying to set the record straight." They was trying to butter her up to sign an affidavit. Now, and this is the thing. Y'all brought a piece of paper there for her to sign. That's not how affidavits work. Now, I may type up an affidavit, but I have the person on the phone with me while I'm typing it. And before they sign it, I have them read over it to ensure that everything is accurate. Do you know why? Because when I have them go notarize it, as a notary, I give verbal ceremonies. I ask you, is all the contents within this document true and accurate? And if it is, they sign it and I notarize it. So for the fact that they brought an affidavit there thinking that she was going to be pressured or conned into signing it, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to be very, very clear. If Jay-Z, darn, he must be talking about me. God darn it. If Jane Doe was lying and she felt very sorry for what she did, she would have signed that affidavit in order to support Jay-Z. She would have signed that affidavit. So she's like, just think about it. If she was intimidated, scared, and all this other stuff, in which she is, but if she wanted everything to stop, she would have signed that affidavit. But she didn't. She's standing her ground. Can the feds get involved? Because this is ridiculous. I hope the feds get involved. I don't know. That's a question I do not know. But he keep messing with Tony Busby. He gonna fuck around to find out. He gonna mess around and find out for real. She didn't seem that credible to a lot of people, even dismissed the case, but wasn't grateful to be acquitted. Jane Doe was not calm even after the dogs barking. After the complete stranger started asking questions about the case, she dropped, and she is anonymous. Exactly. Now his cover up is unpacking a series of criminal behaviors and is a full RICO involving lawyers. Baby, I'm ready for Quinn Emanuel to go down because they've been doing some stuff for years. Showing up at my apartment, show up in Texas if you want to on my land, at my house. The father of three. They y'all tried to sucker her. hmm The bigger question is why ain't no content creators ask about John Doe? Because I sent them everything you posted and I'm still haven't watched the video. You know what? I don't know. And that stays on the back of my mind because two demand letters were sent out, but yet you are going extremely hard for Jane Doe. Now, once again, once again, I know a lawsuit was filed, but both of those is very incriminating. But you still stuck on Jane Doe. I don't know why. Diddy's two kids. I seen Diddy's kids. I'm like, dang, where was Justin at? Yeah, why does Jay-Z not talk about I don't know. I don't know. I wish somebody wait, who was that? Was it Donner? One of y'all said that they dropped Jane Doe and John Doe's name right after the lawsuit was dismissed. I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. Boom. We will not walk away with it. This is being dropped against them. Yeah, we're gonna get to the other affidavits too. You know what? Let's go to trial. We'll ask Jay about Ramira, Kathy White. Ooh, Becky with the good hair. We know Diddy was. And seeing Cassie suits, did he beat her? Mm. That's why Alex Spiro tried his best to disassociate Jay Z from Diddy, but that ain't gonna work. Somewhere in her head, past the fear, they pissed Jane Doe. They did. That's exactly why she said, "Y'all have a good day." Because what y'all found me, y'all wasn't even supposed to find me. They told they told me in that meeting that they were going to leave me alone, but yet here you are. He keeps messing around. Why did he got his federal case? He might land up. That's why I'm gonna sit back and see. Did she record the conversation? I'm late to the live. Yeah, we're reading a transcript, but we have already found flaws in the transcript. Weren't the feds already brought in on the Ramir Busby case? I might be. I don't know. Is Ramir I don't know if Busby is are you talking about their two separate cases? I don't think so. I don't think so. Tony needs to hire a PR person for his firm. He does. I ain't fucking with Busby. They may have settled on John Doe. That's maybe why we're not seeing it or hearing it. That came up. Man, I need somebody to drop that in the declaration because that's eating me alive. I done sent Tony Busby a message. I need to know. Yeah, I know he ain't about to respond to me, but I need to know what happened to John Doe. No, I know Jane. I know, but something happened. Something happened. John Doe just ain't gonna. Did y'all read the allegations? Oh, Shadow, thank you for the super chat. Oh, y'all on fire tonight. Thank you so much. Tissa says she easily found who Jane Doe using all the info they dropped. Well, I need to look. I need to sit down and maybe if I just sit down and focus on that, maybe I can. Hold on, let me let my puppies out because they messing with me. Yeah, if I sit down, I think I might do that. Just take about an hour of my time and just kind of look at all the facts to see if I can find out. But it's really sad that they found out who she was. It's crazy. Yeah, thank y'all for all the support tonight. Y'all are awesome. I keep thinking about Cassandra saying they wanted her to sign an affidavit. Go, she did. That's what they wanted. They wanted her to sign an affidavit and was it gonna pop off like that? Cassandra, this makes me feel like Jay-Z guilty. You don't go that hard after one person unless you have something to hide. Okay? That's what I said in the very beginning. I said that from the very beginning. You do not go this hard trying to go after somebody if the allegations are not true. You knew what this would do to your reputation, my boy. Why you think everybody was quiet? Diddy, Diddy, the only one going through some things, and everybody was quiet because they was praying that nothing comes up on them. You sent him a message, so I'm about to send him a message too. I'm going to need all y'all that sending messages. Tony Busby on his darn ranch living his best life. He is not worried about Jay Z. They really act like Jane is dumb, a dumb chick. She's not dumb. This lady was in the military, bro. Like my ex-husband was in the military and he does have issues. But let me tell you something. One thing they're not gonna do, they're not gonna lie. So now all right. So that was Charlotte. So we already seen the discrepancy. And so pretty much in her declaration, she called Jane Doe a liar and she gave us a transcript. You know what? Hold. Yo, yo, y'all check this out. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This transcript is not even certified. The transcript is not even certified. Oh my gosh. Let me show y'all what a certified transcript look like. I just now noticed this. Bro, hold the fuck up. It's not even, it doesn't even have the certification on there. Oh my gosh. Okay, think, Cassandra. Think. Okay, Tony Busby, Geraldo, Monad. Oh my gosh, y'all. It's not even certified. And people are going to run with this. People are going to run with this. Y'all see this? This is how you do it. Oh my gosh. Y'all. Y'all see this? I kid y'all not. This is her declaration. Interview of whatchamacallit. Look at this. And people, and this is what happens. People sit here and they go off of everything on here. It is not certified. Do y'all see this? I'm showing y'all because I was like, wait, I didn't see who transcribed it. This is what a transcript looks like. Transcript of audio recorded telephonic conversation, audio file, transcribed by whatchamacallit, U.S. Legal. Do y'all? This is what a transcription look like. Y'all see this? This is a transcribed audio call. Do y'all see this? Here's the certification of the transcriber. I here do certify that I was authorized to transcribe the foregoing recorded proceeding and that the transcript is true and accurate transcript to the best of my ability while taken while listening to the provided according. This is a trend. Don't let nobody fool y'all. This right here, this is I would throw this in the trash along with the whole goddamn declaration. Y'all think these people and see that's how Spiro gets to see regular people who do not work in the legal field don't know this. But that's why I come on here and I do what I do. Y'all, this shit ain't even transcribed. This is how you do a transcription. I can even show y'all a depot transcript. Same thing. This is transcribed by U.S. Legal. So there we have it. So there we have it. So so what? So now you got investigators who weren't hired to show up at somebody's door when they weren't supposed to. Y'all drop an audio recording that was altered. Then you try to throw in, so you really think that this transcript is going to fly. Who was this? Anybody? Hell, Charlotte could have written this damn transcript for all we know. Somebody at the attorney's office could have written this transcript for all we know. Let me see. It don't even look at this. There's nothing. Just interview. That's it. This. I don't care if it's an audio recording. I don't care. And let me see. Is there another one? Cause y'all, these hoes got me if they got me icked up. I'm trying to think of this one. Now this one, that's a transcript. That's when they met her in person. Okay, so not this one, but this one. This is a transcript. So if you submit an audio recording, this is how you are supposed to transcribe it. Now this one, oh, the other one that I just pulled up, that was they met face to face. And I don't think there was he was just no, that was an audio call. I can't remember. But I think that one is also transcribed. I have to look. But this is what a transcription is. So this lady, and I just caught you in another lie. Because she said, there we go. A true and correct copy of the transcript of the interview attached. Da da da. I reviewed the transcript and the recording and confirmed the transcript accurately reflects the recorded interview, and that the recording accurate accurately reflects the conversation. I blah blah blah. Blah. Who transcribed it? You submitted a declaration with a transcript that hasn't been certified. Okay. Maybe. Oh, Tiffany. That's who we about to go. Now we about to go into the Declaration of Ian. So Ian Pillinger is the one who has the company. It's an investigation company, and they are the ones who kind of look at everything. They pull all your background, they pull your history, they pull your social media, they pull all of your information. Okay, that's what he does. So that's how he was able to get their names and their addresses. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy. Everybody say what? No, that's what I said. It got they pranking us. They gotta prank us. Cause I was wait, something is off. So you're gonna submit a declaration with an uncertified transcript. We don't know who anybody could she could have had her teenage son type that up. And she's a paralegal. Who's to say that she didn't type it up? Y'all are crazy. I do feel sorry for Jane Doe as well. This is a nightmare. I'm pretty sure she didn't think that this was going to go this far. Yep, people are going to take it and run with it. What's up, Shamika Lachey Effect? I feel terrible that Jane Doe did not get justice and continue to be harassed. I do too. Tony needs to report those fake recorders to the judge. Y'all, the judge is already going to be like, who hired you? I like Judge Epstein. I need to fly to California. At this point, I feel like Jay-Z is a fake billionaire. I'm dying. And y'all, I am going to go over the shareholder cases. I am going to go over it. Probably tomorrow. Every billionaire is corrupt in my opinion. Mm-hmm. With fake badges, cite the Texas law on them. Ooh, that part. Getting hit with major storm right now. It's coming down. Ooh, I'm praying for y'all. Hey, y'all keep that where it's at. That's good in Texas. It's a little warm, but it's good. Jay-Z lawyers do better media with a boy. Let me tell you. Wait, was the conversation recorded? Yes, this conversation was recorded. This conversation was recorded. But who transcribed it is the funny part because there ain't no certification on it. So, look, transcript of audio. This is what it's supposed to look like, and it's supposed to have a certification. This is what they submitted. Fake badges, declarations, fake suits, fake everything. Hell, at this point, I don't even think they probably how did they get their bar license? I have no idea. What really blows my mind is the amount of people that still believe he's completely in. Who you telling? Who are you telling? Yes, we're gonna go over those cases. All right, so let's talk about Mr. So the question was, who is finding out all of this information? And we have this guy right here who, by the name of Ian Pillinger, he, like I said, he submitted the first declaration and he has submitted this to support Jay Z once again. So let's see. This is what he says. Within a matter of minutes, a simple Google search showed her criminal history, with one of the top results being her arrest for assault. A simple search of her publicity accessible social media likewise revealed her history of mental health issues, including bipolar disorder, her chronic drug use, and hallucinatory episodes. As detailed in my last declaration, based on a review of publicly accessible online and court records, Ms. Doe has previously made 4 allegations of sexual assault prior to accusing Mr. Carter. The publicly accessible case file from the custody case filed by the father of one of Ms. Doe's children includes text messages, exhibits of conversations between Ms. Doe and the father of her child regarding one of these 4 allegations, in which she admitted to falsely accusing the father of M-wording their child to obtain a financial and custodial benefit. For the court's convenience, I have attached a true and correct copy of the text message exhibit from custody case file Exhibit A. It has been redacted so as not to reveal Ms. Doe's real name or other personally identifying information. In the text thread, Ms. Doe stated that a famous Canadian rap star to whom she claims to have been married at the time put up her to making a false accusation of child M-wording. In this text message exchange, the father of one of Ms. Doe's children writes, "Then why did you ever accuse me of M-wording him over text?" Miss Doe responds, "He had me do it and I was stupid enough to follow along with it was a mistake and a bad idea." Miss Doe then apologizes for making a false accusation of actual M wording and explains that a famous Canadian rapper she was purportedly married to was the one who texted the father of the child accusing him of M wording. There is no evidence that Miss Doe was ever married to this Canadian rap star. I wonder if it's Drake. I'm sorry for laughing. I was like, I'm tired of this. Let me see. So this Richie Nix from California had flyers down in Alabama. He wanted to post saying, "I blank blank. Tell me the whole story so I can get it straight." He was on a visit after we got married because my aunt died, and he had them pull up on his laptop getting mocked, and I walked in and saw it and flipped out and kicked him out. "Then why did you ever accuse me of M-wording him over text?" "He had me do it, and I was stupid enough to follow along with it." What? Wait a minute. Oh, I'm like, how did they get these? But they said from the court case. "I'm sorry it ever happened. He had my phone. I was in the shower. I couldn't do anything after he had it. What I was supposed to for text and breathe. Sorry, my blank of husband sent that, and let I won't let get my phone back. At this point, his money was all I had coming and he was going to cut me off and take every cent I had, which he did anyway. So are you done dragging this crap out of me, or do you want to poke more for your lawyer's sake? I was just asking out of curiosity. Okay, it's not fun for me, okay? I've been dragged down to the dirt. I put myself." So technically her husband did it. He the one who sent it. That's what I'm reading. He sent it and she just went along with it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm not I don't know about that. I don't get it. It says that she sent it. I mean, her husband sent it, but they saying that she was never married. I have to look and find out who this person is. I really do. so then I could do my own investigation. Now I probably have to do members because I do not want her stuff getting out. What really blows my mind is the oh yeah, okay, I already looked at that. Da, 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 da. So guys, do we have any doubts that Jay-Z operates like a crook in his businesses? Like the show Dope Thief on Apple TV, fake DEA agents. No. Child. All right, D says, let's not rule out the fact that this whole legal battle could be a fake fight after the settlement on the part of both sides. There was no settlement. It was just an agreement that if uh Alex Spiro dropped the motion for sanctions, that's why Mark Kasowitz came in. He made an agreement with Alex Spiro. Alex Spiro dropped the motion for sanctions against Busby. Busby will drop, or Jane Doe rather, would drop the suit with prejudice. And Spiro and Quinn Emanuel agreed not to harass her or Busby's clients or family members or employees ever again. That was the agreement. They all came to a global agreement. Fake Santiago, you want me on that wall. Baby. Not Tory Lanez. Y'all cutting up. Not the transcript was transcribed by Timu. I'm not about to play with y'all. Y'all get out my chat. All right. So this is what Ian is saying. So Ian is saying because of her criminal history and her mental health issues that she's making up this whole story. That's what I'm getting. Like I told y'all yesterday, somebody could come in and I'm not going to hold their history, their criminal history against them. Everything will eventually come out. And if we find out that you're lying, then, we can't help you. We just can't. But I'm not going to hold somebody's criminal history if they were hurt in a car wreck or they were abused in any kind of way. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, I see that you have a criminal history and a mental health issue. I'm not going to help you." That's not how we operate. Jay-Z still selling just a different kind of crack. Y'all know what? Why is y'all cutting up today? Oh my gosh. That doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't a settlement. That's what a fake fight is to make it look like a real legal battle. Well, if anything, I think they settled with John Doe. I really think they settled with John Doe. So, Miss Henderson's declaration is a piece of boo boo. The transcript is not transcribed, nor is it certified. So, everything in that, nope, nope. I mean, it could be an audio recording, but they tweaked some things. Until it's transcribed by somebody like US Legal, I'm not even taking anything from that. I am not taking anything from that. All right, let's see what y'all boy Spiro says. Let's see what lies he done came up with. Y'all ready for this one? All right. The Declaration of Alex Spiro. On or about November 5th, 2024, I received a copy of the extortionate demand defendant Anthony Busby has made to Mr. Carter through a letter falsely accusing him of sexual assault of a minor, Jane Doe. Now, why y'all not saying anything about John Doe? You received two copies of a demand. Number two, the judge already told you those demand letters were not extortionate. So why are you already got in trouble in that when Jane Doe case was still active, you got in trouble with the judge. She told you to cut it out. You're going to piss this judge off. You did not, those demands were not extortionate. And the judge already explained that to you. And for the record, you had two demands that were sent to you. So are you saying that Jane Doe's letter falsely accused, but John Doe's letter didn't? Is that what I'm getting? But anywho's, When Mr. Busby sent this extortionate demand to Carter, I became aware that it was coupled with Mr. Busby's frequent media appearances regarding the alleged participants in Sean Combs' criminal enterprise. Mr. Busby's public threats to unveil famous names and Mr. Busby's threat to bring criminal charges against these alleged famous participants. Mr. Carter never paid Mr. Busby or offered him a penny in response to his extortionate demand. Oh, let me turn off my nightlight on my computer. Dang, it's already 10 o'clock. Nightlight, nightlight. I have my computer go dim at a certain part time. All right. Paid Mr. Busby or offered him to pay a penny in response to his extortionate demand or the Jane Doe lawsuit. As a result, on December 8th, 2024, Mr. Busby followed through with his threat and named Mr. Carter publicly in the case Jane Doe versus Sean Combs. On January 8th, after the 21-day safe harbor period, I filed a motion for sanctions against Mr. Busby seeking to dismiss the lawsuit pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 11. This was the first time I have ever filed a Rule 11 motion against another attorney in my career. Huh? I gotta go look in that Eric Adams case because I could have okay. I'm a review that because I think he lying. But anyways, the Rule 11 motion raised two issues. Mr. Busby violated Rule 11B by either filing a knowingly false complaint to or failing to conduct a reasonable inquiry into the facts. And Mr. Busby had failed to obtain admission pro hoc vice to practice in the Southern District of New York, despite having signed numerous pleadings and other filings invading the court's jurisdiction and authority. On January 28, 2025, the U.S. District Court judge presiding over the lawsuit, Judge Annalisa Torres, in response to the issue raised in our Motion 11, ordered Mr. Busby to file proof of admission to the Southern District of New York by February 14, 2025. I'm trying to figure out what all this has to do with anything. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Busby's attorney, Mark Kasowitz, reached out to me to discuss dismissing the lawsuit. I made clear at all times to Mr. Kasowitz that Mr. Carter would never settle the lawsuit or pay anyone to resolve it, given it was a heinous false accusation. Mr. Kasowitz also requested to dismiss the case, which Mr. Carter brought against Mr. Busby. I said no. On February 4th, 2025, Mr. Kasowitz told me that Mr. Busby would dismiss the lawsuit with prejudice by February 14th, the same date by which Judge Torres had ordered Mr. Busby to file a proof of admission. In light of Mr. Kasowitz's statement that Mr. Busby was going to voluntarily dismiss the lawsuit, which achieved the same result we sought through our Rule 11 motion, I told Mr. Kasowitz that we would hold in abeyance further pursuant of our motion without prejudice, pending Mr. Busby's dismissal of the lawsuit. Given that we had at the point achieved the purpose of bringing the Rule 11 motion, the motion had become mute. And given the repercussions of Mr. Busby's failure to seek admission in the Southern District of New York was still an active issue for him and the many other suits he had filed there, our withdrawal of the Rule 11 motion without prejudice was insignificant event, meaning it was a small fry to the bigger fish that had to be fried. Mr. Kasowicz's characterization of our withdrawal as being done in furtherance of a negotiated dismissal of the lawsuit is not correct. In fact, Mr. Kasowitz acknowledged in writing that this was not a settlement. It was my understanding that the Rule 11 motion pending while Mr. Busby's dismissed the suit that would bring further attention to his ethical issues. On February 14, 2025, Mr. Busby dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice. A copy of that was filed with the court as part of our opposition to the motion through the February 18th request for judicial notice. The swift dismissal with prejudice of the lawsuit just 2 months after naming Mr. Carter was a resounding victory for Mr. Carter and a clear indication that the allegations in the lawsuit were false in the instance that the extortionate plot by Mr. Busby had failed. Mr. Kasowitz requested that we cease any investigation into Mr. Busby or his law firm, a topic about which Mr. Busby was obviously concerned. Mr. Kasowitz conceded there was not an admission that either my firm or Mr. Carter had engaged in investigations and wrote in his email, neither you nor your client is admitting that you have done or known about it. It is my understanding and belief that this request was motivated by Mr. Busby's concern that investigations would reveal that the way he handled other cases was consistent with how he handled the case against Mr. Carter, and that he had a pattern and practice of engaging in extortion, defamation, and other illegal conduct. Mr. Kasowitz's request regarding ceasing investigations into Mr. Busby and his law firm in no way implicated investigating Ms. Doe herself. Rather, this was a request concerning other investigations into Mr. Busby's practice. No, 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 no. Mr. Kasowitz's description that there was an explicit agreement had no contact that no contact be made with Miss Doe is not true. He never mentioned that to me. Y'all, what? Do I'm so wait a minute. So what he's saying is that Busby, they agreed to not go after Busby and his firm or further investigate. But I see, this is why reading is fundamental, because maybe I'm slow. Hold up, where's Katzowitz's declaration? Hold up, because I could have sworn in that declaration, we're going to come back to you, Mr. Spiro. It says, and you said okay, but it says you and your clients and their agents will not authorize, employ, or otherwise engage investigators or anyone else to harass or otherwise interact with my client, his firm, or his present and former clients. Jane Doe falls under, if Jane Doe signed an agreement with the Tony Busby law firm, either she is a client or she's a former client. So how in the heck do you think that he was only talking about himself? It's the email's right here. It clearly states that y'all weren't supposed to go after him, his firm, current, former clients, employees, and family. This is beyond me. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. Why am I missing? Do you think Beyonce watches YouTube? We should tag her to your page. Oh, don't send the beehive over here. Don't send the beehive over here. Right? Being up for mental health, possibly capitalize on our mental health and disability. Yep. Can you fill us in on the Marco Polo research group that just reported all the elite pedophile governors of America and many men? Ooh, yeah. Second. Seconda. So cute. Okay. She's a little bit behind, but that's okay. Yes. Thank y'all. Wait. Yeah, y'all are awesome. Y'all are doing some awesome stuff over here. Donna 100% pisses me off. I'm from a mental health background, and Spiro actually studied undergrad. Oh, biopsychology and worked at it. Okay, so he definitely knows how to get under people's skin. That's why he does. That's why he tried to use the court of public opinion. Mm, that's sad. I did not know that. Yep, that's sad. I don't know, like it could get worse. Hearing an extortionate on someone else perceived. Yeah, I'm going to tap into that. I am. I wonder if he went with the intentions of mastering how to reverse psychology. Yep. And that's what he's doing. That's why I told y'all yesterday he mind fucking everybody. Okay. ATL drug court counselor. Okay. Period. Yet rounding up Busby former client. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Garrett Ziegler over at ooh, let me write that down. There's just so much going on. Hello. Okay. Oh geez, I have a twin. He's very much an addict, so I appreciate all you do. Aw, damn. Well, we're just all we could do is we could just pray. But this is sad. So this man is just trying to say that Castlewood's request to cease investigation was for Busby and his law firm, but not Jane Doe herself. But yet the email says that y'all weren't to harass any of his present and former clients. Please make this make sense. Mr. Castlewood's description that there was an explicit agreement had no contact be made with Miss Doe is not true. He never mentioned that to me. Boy, bro, you said okay. You said okay. You said okay. You said okay. There was nothing improper with those around Mr. Carter seeking to speak with Miss Doe regarding what happened. I have listened to the recording and reviewed the transcript of Miss Doe, the transcript that hasn't been certified. He listened to the recording and reviewed the transcript of Miss Doe conversation with Mr. Butler and Miss Henderson. Who hired them? Did you hire them? It is a 15-minute casual conversation, in my opinion, is a modest step to take when someone very publicly and falsely accuses another of raping a minor. Based on my long-standing relationship with Mr. Carter, it is my belief that the false accusation of raping a minor damaged Mr. Carter and that Mr. Busby's action taken against Mr. Carter damaged him. Mr. Carter did not ask for any of this and it is only Mr. Busby that set these events in motion through his extortionate scheme. After my colleagues appear on behalf of Mr. Carter in this court on February 25th, 2025, and raised filing the instant ex parte application on February 28th, Mr. Kasowitz indicated that if Mr. Carter moved forward, Mr. Busby would publicly state that Ms. Doe was in fear for her life. Mr. Kasowitz did not say that Mr. Carter or anyone acted on his behalf had threatened Ms. Doe's life, and it has never been alleged that Mr. Carter did so. He said only what Mr. Busby would publicly claim if Mr. Carter proceeded. Boy, y'all messing with Trump's attorneys. There is no truth to the allegation that Mr. Carter threatened Ms. Doe or her life. On March 13th, I checked the docket in the New York lawsuit and the filings that my firm received to see whether either on November 18th or December 8th, affidavits signed by Jane Doe and included a part of Mr. Busby's supplemental declaration and blah, blah, blah. Neither affidavits were ever filed. Attached is Exhibit A is a true and correct copy of the docket printout. Oh, so he's trying to say that those I'm gonna go back and look. Because those were somebody, it had to be under somebody's declaration. That's an order, summons, first motion. Oh, no, no, you didn't. Hold up. So that's a declaration, but no, you're not saying. So remember, I told y'all that Jane Doe signed two affidavits, one on 11/18, the other one on December 8th. Uh, Spiro is saying that he never filed those in this action, so don't consider them. But yet we got two investigators who submitted declarations that wasn't hired by nobody. But y'all want the judge to consider that. Make that make sense. I'm gonna go. Wait, that's a declaration of. I'm gonna see Alex. But yeah, that's it. So pretty much what Alex Spiro wants y'all to know is that Jane Doe is lying. Uh the conversation between him and Kasowitz it did happen, but not the way that Castlewitz is saying. So I'm assuming this whole email is a lie. He's saying that this never happened, that they never agreed. Here's a whole email. Alex Spiro at Quinn Emanuel. Hold up. Oh yeah, then y'all can't see it. Hold up. I'm gonna change my whatchamacallit because ain't nobody make this damn thing up. This man wants everybody to believe. Yeah, but that's your email, Mr. Spyro. Let me see. Oh, that's Quinn Emanuel. That's his email. So I don't know. So he's trying to say that he never agreed to this. He never agreed. He never said okay to this. And the reason why, so there's more to this conversation, and somebody was like, well, he said okay to this. Y'all have to understand how, damn, how can I say this? So he wrote this, and shortly after he said okay, but there was a whole chain prior to this. Now where it's at, I don't know, but I could tell because it has these little things. If y'all know how emails work, y'all know how it works. But here it said that you agreed to do this. You withdrew the Rule 11 motion. 10 days after, she withdrew her complaint and you agreed to not harass them. It clearly states that you cannot harass Tony Busby, the firm, or any present or former clients. I really think that Spyro think people are stupid. Because I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get it. What he say? Mr. Cassavett's request regarding ceasing investigations into Mr. Busby and his law firm in no way implicated investigating Miss Doe herself. But yet it says do not harass or investigate his present or former clients. Somebody please make this make sense because this does not make sense at all. I don't get this. I don't get this at all. There's something going on. Like you agreed to this, there's an email. And I don't know if you want to go up against Trump's attorneys. But I'm just saying. Y'all, ooh, it's been 2.5 hours, y'all. What y'all think? What y'all think? So overall, we have a transcript that is given by Charlotte Henderson that has not been certified. It has not been certified. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not the judge in no way. They're gonna look at them and be like, first of all, who hired you? Why did you think that it was okay to submit a declaration and you wasn't hired by nobody? And then you bring a transcript and you submit another declaration and think that's going to be admissible and it wasn't even certified. This is not making sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Yes. Who said that? I can't get to the thing. You said Spyro is a sicko. He is. I have not watched that. I have not. There's a lot of stuff that I need to sit down and watch. Yeah, honestly, when I get off of here, oh crap, I still gotta do work. I'll probably wake up early and do it. I'm so tired of Spyro. Spyro's a crook to me. I don't care what nobody says. I get a sense of that is exactly what they are trying to do to Jane Doe, reverse psychology, and especially with making statements about her and Jay-Z kids. Yep. My disappointment is that Busby keeps moving like he's not aware Jay-Z is a liar who goes back on his words. Yeah, there's just it's too much going on. You got the Alabama case, and they're strategically doing this. They're trying to tire this man out. You got the Alabama case, then you got the New York cases, and then you got the Texas cases, and then you got the California cases. He's trying to throw him off. Pretty sure Spiro and Jay are into Freemason. Along with a lot of federal judges, could be how they've gotten away with so much. I've gone a little too far down the rabbit hole. Scary stuff. No, it is. Because if you think about, look at the Ramir case, like they had to end up suing judges and attorneys, even the attorneys that were on that they hired for them to represent them, they are now suing. Yeah, they get paid under the table. I know they do. Yes, keep them close to your heart. They should have signed clear legal paperwork of what they agreed to from that email, just an okay. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he still replied. And even anybody can go in to pull the emails. There's already a paper trail. All we just need, I don't even care if he would have put a dot 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 dot. There's a paper trail. So I'm pretty sure they're going to pull the actual email chain to see what was talked about, but that's still considered an agreement. You agreed not to harass, investigate, all this other stuff, and they didn't do it. How dare they come and separate of it? Boy, this is crazy. Yep. Y'all definitely pray for the victims. That's why I said a lot of victims, and this right here, because of this situation, I feel that no other victims would like to come forward because they already see what Jane Doe is going through, and she's anonymous or supposed to be anonymous. It was all in their plan. They're going to give up enough information to where people that are investigators are going to do their own research and find out who she is. Jane Doe was not expecting anybody to show up at her door because they told her, based off of that email, that nobody was going to harass them. Because otherwise, if she knew that she was going to continue to go through with this and she didn't care, she wouldn't have dropped the suit. But they told her, they gave her their word that they weren't going to harass her or investigate her. And now here we are. But the longer that this goes on, the more is going to come out. They didn't think Busby would show us the agreement. Exactly. He shows us the intake form. I already showed y'all the agreement, the his attorney-client agreement, the declarations. Now it's crazy that Spiro is saying that, yeah, the declarations that Tony Busby submitted for Jane Doe, I don't see them in the filing. Bro, you got two investigators that you didn't hire that submitted declarations, and you're hollering about affidavits not being filed by Busby. Get out of here. Yeah, thank y'all for the tips. Thank y'all for the super chats, the cash apps. Y'all are freaking awesome. Timestamp on the email show that Spurs said okay prior to the no, yes. That oh wait, hold up. Let me go back. That's why I said um uh oops, let me go back here. So here it says from damn, how can I do this? Hold up. I am How can I do this? How can I do this? Uh, I'm pulling up an email. Oh my gosh. What is the email that? Hold up. He sent the email to. Let me see how I can do this. If you hit reply all, gosh diggity dogs. I'm probably have to do it and post it later. But the way I need to find an email like that because I know why it did that. And yeah, people are going to be like, he sent the okay before that email was sent. But that's not how it went, y'all. That's not how it went. And I have an email like that. Maybe I have to go into the other folder to my other email. But I'm going to explain this. Yes, it does show February 4th at 10:11:07. But damn, how can I say this? You have uh, I gotta go. I have to do investigation, and I have to show y'all why it's like that. It's something when you reply all, but this says an external email from Casowitz. Uh, shit, I can't explain it. I'm trying to explain it. It makes sense in my head, but if I say it, it gonna make sense to y'all. But I'm gonna explain this why it says that. Oh yeah, I gotta go use the bathroom. I've been up here for a minute. What about Jay-Z mental issues? How can we get that on record? Girl, somebody gonna have to do an investigation on him. But they said girl, kinda on his behalf, kinda on his behalf. And then somebody says indirectly, "Good night, my favorite paralegal. Don't you got the girl?" First of all, I might I got my Starbucks here, so I might do some work. No, I got discovery that I need to get done. Like it should have been done on Monday, but I've been yeah, so I might do some because I took a nap earlier. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but I got discovery that I gotta do. So I know y'all saying, girl, so many questions and so many side eyes for Spiro. Who hired you? Yes, I can't wait for that question. Who hired you, and why do you think that it was okay to submit a declaration on somebody's behalf? Yep, that's all. He wants to look good. If y'all look at the Eric Adams case, the judge told him off in that case too. That's all he wants to do is he want to look good in front of the media. He has a reputation to uphold because there's so much dirt on Jay-Z. He thinks Busby doesn't know. Man, enough people are going to come out, but I think people are scared because of the power. Man, look at what Diddy did to Christopher Wallace and Tupac. These people that have money, they will do anything to remain on top. We're still very close to talk regularly. Thank you, Karen. Yes. Aw. Well, we're gonna be definitely praying for your twin love. Definitely. I would say a special prayer. Busby has a lot of friends in unusual places. I even seen Snoop Dogg at his parties, child. That part don't fly at the keep. The hole keeps getting deeper and deeper. Yes, yes. Miss Stone, I agree. I think they need a good PR for Beyonce's tour. Baby, I'm not paying. I've never been to a Beyonce concert. I refuse to pay a mortgage payment on a ticket. I like to see Busby in his trial consent. Is it trying to get yes, 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 he is. So the two Houston cases with where he sued Marcy Croft and Jessica Santiago and Quinny Manuel, he's trying to get those remanded back down to the state courts. So we just got to keep our fingers crossed because you trying to say that Jessica Santiago ain't real and we know she real. So that may not be her damn name. That may not be her name. They didn't know Busby was going to go so hard. Tony the Great. Crazy work. Someone investigate. I hope Tony Busby does. I really do. Oh, that is so awesome. Thank you for gifting a membership. Oh, and yay. And anything but the norm, she's always supporting. Even after I do, my videos, she's always supporting. So thank you, Alice, for gifting that. And it's so awesome that anything but the norm got it. You definitely deserve that, love. You definitely deserve that. Aw, child, we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out. The way Busby clapped back at Laura Croft, I clutched my baby. Let me tell you, Tony Busby, y'all. Tony knows what he's doing. Tony, if y'all just go on this man's Instagram, he be showing y'all pictures of his farm animals, of his motorcycle, the church, everything. Tony is unfazed. He is unbothered because he already know what's about to go down. He is very patient, and I love that. That's why, hey, he's relaxing. He's gonna let Tony. He gonna let Alex Spiro, Quinn Emanuel, and Jay Z run around like chickens with their head cut off till they get tired. That's what he's doing. He's very strategic with this. So they had a post awards party. No A-listers attended. It was like a child stars and C-listers. They lost their value. I'm dying. Damn. Thank you so much. I know. I wish he does too. The power is gone once you're in jail. That's why they come out when he went to jail. The slum predicted it all. Is she predicted Jay-Z first fall on. I'm gonna wait. Yep, Slum Villa. I'm going to probably tap into that while I'm working tonight. But yeah, this is a very, very sad situation. Y'all know I love to educate y'all first. Be mindful of the information that you received. Okay. Y'all know the process. Y'all know what to look for. Okay. Y'all know that nobody randomly can just come up off the street and submit a declaration to file in any pleading. I don't care if you're on the defense side or if you are on the plaintiff side. It does not work like that. Number two, you talking about it'd be different if she didn't say that she got the transcript back and she read everything and everything looked correct and accurate. The thing is, if you're going to say that, you need to ensure that your transcript, the audio transcript, is certified by a transcriptionist. You didn't put who transcribed it. There's no certifications. How are you going to enter a transcript that you say was transcribed and is accurate? Because so that's the language. The language that she used is that she received the transcript, she reviewed it, and everything was true and accurate, right? So by you saying those words, that means that it has to be certified by a transcriptionist. Because what happens is they'll transcribe it, they'll send it back to the person whoever like the conversation is between. And normally, to be honest, well, that no, because I'm thinking about a depot transcript. Probably not. But whatever parties are on there, you would think that both sides would actually receive a copy of the transcribed transcript or the call log, and each party, because that's what we do in depositions. When we have a depot, and if it's of one party, the other party will actually get it, and both parties will have to sit down to ensure that everything that they said was caught and recorded and typed in these transcripts. So, did Jane Doe get a copy of the transcript to ensure everything was true? That's why Jane Doe is submitting her declaration, because y'all are not giving the full story. And by you even giving us a transcript that's not certified is very suspicious. So we got to be mindful of that. So just know, can't nobody just submit a declaration. Can't nobody just submit a freaking transcript and it ain't even certified. So we know that. So yeah, So, y'all been awesome. Y'all have been awesome. Thank y'all for the super chats. Thank y'all for the uh the um the cash apps is very much appreciated. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome. I get why Tony's so calm. All right, watch when he defended the AG. Oh yes, it was a $3 million case. He was so sharp. Yep, I told you, Tony is a beast. That's why I was like, I don't just follow him. I've knew of him. I didn't even know he did the Me Too movement, but I know him from other work. And so now this is just even more. So now it's like, okay, I know how Tony operates because of all the other cases that he has done. So he's a beast. I don't care what anybody says. He's a beast. Yep. Busby. You're welcome, Gold Digger. Yes, 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 yes. Honest with Swift since his beginning, I was scared and nervous and desperate. That man, he know he's losing. I told y'all it's like the Titanic, they sinking. Hope it's a state case of Texas Busby fake. Yes. Wait. Hope it's a state case of Texas Busby versus fake badge slingers, and we the people get to watch it on TV. Oh yeah. I'm gonna try to go out there. My sister lives in Houston, so it depends. If this does go to trial, baby, I'm gonna be right there. Thank you. Yes, I was working overtime yesterday. Now I need to work overtime in my real work. Even Busby rarely replied to him. He keeps saying that it was given desperate. Hey, they losing and they keep effing around and to find out. So it's only a matter of time that all of this will be crumbling. Like the longer this goes on, the more that comes out, the more that Jay-Z and Quinn Emanuel and Alex Spiro is going to go under the hole. That's it. But yeah, definitely be mindful of the information that y'all receive. Like I said, my goal is to help y'all learn the process and what to look for. And y'all never know. Y'all might be find yourself in a lawsuit, and at least you have some type of inclination and some guidance on how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But thank y'all for coming over. Thank y'all for the tips and the super chats. Definitely thank y'all for supporting my channel. It is greatly appreciated. Some days I'd be like, why am I doing this? But I have to make sure that I cater to all of my subscribers, to my members. Thank y'all for your memberships. It does support me in the long run. To my replay gang, thank y'all for tuning in. Definitely hit that like button and share. Thanks are available as well on that. But to everybody, good night. Be blessed. I'm about to drink my Starbucks, put on probably a movie, and start getting a little bit of this discovery done. And then I will catch y'all in the next one. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all and good night. Stay blessed, y'all. Bye.